Guys, today I'm going to walk you through my weekly process of planning out my schedule, mostly using Google Calendars for block scheduling. So I've been doing this kind of planning since my daughter was born, partially because it's really flexible, but also because it helps me kind of plan out my day in a way that takes my daughter's schedule into account as well. So I'm just going to hop right in here. Basically, I'm going to show you my computer screen and how I do this. But I want to talk about a couple key things that I do throughout the week to plan properly. So I start by adjusting my work schedule. I have like my default work schedule in here, but week to week it varies a tiny bit. Sometimes we have days off, sometimes I know a week is going to be busier or we have a lot of meetings where I'll work more hours than my typical schedule. And then I also adjust my husband's schedule. My husband is currently in school full-time, and then he is a stay-at-home dad when he's not at class. So we have to kind of coordinate my daughter's schedule with that. So if he has tests or if he has to meet for like a group project or anything like that, I need to have that in the calendar so we can plan for it. I also will add any events or just hanging out with friends. That way we can plan around that. We plan dinners and grocery trips ahead of time. I plan my workouts ahead of time or I don't do them. And then I also plan all of my work tasks, which I actually use Asana for that. That could be a whole separate video if it's something you guys are interested in, but filming videos, writing blog posts, all that stuff, I just pull from Asana and I work it into my day. And then I also make sure that I add some time to do chores because you have to clean the house, you have to do dishes. And then I always make sure that when I have my daughter, if I have to like write a blog post, normally that might take me 30 minutes. I always plan an hour block for that. And that just helps me, you know, if I have a diaper to change or if she just wants to be held, doesn't want to play, I can kind of work around that and I'm not on a super tight schedule that like messes up my entire day. We also clear out one entire day of each week for our Sabbath day. It's not that on the Sabbath day we sit and do nothing, but we plan that specifically for things that we only want to do. So we don't do chores and stuff or clean the house. We don't work. We will go and do something as a family. Sometimes that's to the zoo. Sometimes it's going to a movie. Sometimes it's just sitting on the couch in our PJs, binging Netflix all day. The point is to take a day of just resting and not having to do tasks. So let's get a deeper look into this planning process and I'll show you how I do this. Alright, so this is my Google Calendar. Obviously I'm pre-recording this a little bit because we are only on December 8th of 2019, but I have been doing this kind of format for a while now and it's pretty consistent, so unless you're watching this video like 8 years in the future, I'm probably doing something similar. So we are on Sunday. This is the day I typically like to sit down and plan out the week because Saturdays are usually our Sabbath day. So we're just going to go through this week here and kind of get things figured out. So you can see my work schedule and my husband's school schedule right now. This is actually his last week of school before the winter break, so then things will kind of get easier with our schedules. But basically right now, I'm just going to make a couple adjustments that I know are going to happen at work and just plan for those ahead of time because this week actually is going to be a pretty slow week. And then once that is looking good, as you can see on the left here, I have a bunch of different calendars. So Nora Conrad is kind of my business calendar. That's where I plan my work related stuff. Personal is any like personal events, so birthdays, my daughter's birthday party is this weekend, things like that. Birthdays also default from my Google contacts. The reason why I didn't like just rely on that though is because not everyone that I want to celebrate their birthday is in my Google contacts. I'm kind of bad at keeping up on that, to be honest, so I just put both on there. Daily, you'll see, is what I use to plan out my week like this, so I can hide the calendar really easily if I need to see just what is physically going to happen rather than what I planned on happening. Dinner is where we plan all of our dinners. My husband and my sister-in-law have access to this since we all live together. That way they know kind of what to expect and if they need to pull groceries out. Family schedules, that's work and school. Flatirons, that's our church. We volunteer there and we also do Bible studies, so those auto-populate from an app that we use. And then obviously I have reminders and tasks. I also have 2020 content plans. That is my Asana tasks, so you'll see those in green. Those are my work-related stuff that need to be done. And then obviously I have holidays. And of course, we have the Bronco and Packer games because our house is divided and we need to know what's going on. Okay, so what I'm going to show you is mostly in the daily calendars. So for example, today, I'm spending a lot of time recording and editing videos. It's one of my work days, so I'm just going to say videos and editing. My mom is actually babysitting right now, but she should be here in the next hour or two. So instead of planning just like an hour and a half, I'm going to double that and plan 3 hours because I am going to have my daughter with me. And I got to be flexible with that schedule. Then we will just plan some time for some dinners. We actually didn't plan dinners this week because we're a little behind schedule. So I'm just gonna make some stuff up right now. Okay, so once that's all set, I'll start to fill in the most important tasks that I want to do each week. So for example, I always want to do my Bible studies. I like to do them in the morning, but Mondays or Wednesdays are hard because I get to work so early. So on those days, I'll plan it usually once I get home from work. And then on Fridays, I only work a part day. So on those days, I like to do a longer Bible study. These are also days when I tend to plan my Bible study videos. Just because I'm already in that zone, I enjoy kind of planning them as I'm reading and as I'm first kind of going through the scripture. So I do plan a little longer for those ones. Next up is workouts. I do wake up very early to work out. And then I plan chore time. This might be laundry, this might be pulling stuff out for meals or going to the grocery store. Really any kind of errands or chores that are done around the house, I plan when to do those during the week. And I just call them chores and dailies because those are just things that need to be done around the house. And I do really plan about an hour for those. But there's some days where it doesn't take that long and there's some days where it takes a lot longer. So it just kind of depends. I just plan an hour each day and I adjust as needed throughout the week. And then actually for this Saturday, it's kind of a weird day. We are actually going to be spending the night at my parents' house. So we're going to plan for that. And I just realized I probably won't be able to do my workout. So this is why we kind of plan for stuff like this and why I do my calendar in this way, because I wouldn't have thought about that. And I would have just planned to do my workout that morning and then I would have realized I didn't have actual time to do it. So now I know I need to get it done Friday morning or I'm not going to have time this weekend to do it. So I will do that on Friday instead. Okay, and then I need to plan doing some work. So like I said, I do use Asana for this, but I also just try to plan blocks of time when I do tasks that are necessary in there. I do plan like days where I might bulk film videos or bulk edit or bulk write. So I just plan a couple of these during the week and I just call it work. And that allows me to just get some stuff done. And just be able to sit down and focus for a few hours and get through my tasks for the week. And then I know for the following week, if I didn't get a lot done, that I can readjust and plan more time during the next week. And there are some times where I do have certain things planned, like I plan to film my videos today because my daughter isn't here and it's easier to film without a baby yelling in the background. So it just depends on the week. I obviously don't have this perfectly pinned down. It just differs a lot. Okay, so that is kind of all the important stuff built in there. We don't actually have any events going on this week, which is lovely because we have a busy week coming up for all the holidays. So this week is pretty tame compared to normal, but the biggest thing that I want to show with this is that there's a lot of white space. I don't plan when to shower and when to pour my coffee and when to wash my face and climb into bed, but I know my typical schedule and I just leave some white space for all of that. So for example, my workout, I wake up at 4:30 and by 5:30 a.m. I know I need to be showered and back here ready to head out to work. So my workout is usually only about 20 minutes. I'll just do a HIIT workout. But I just plan workout for an hour so that way I can kind of put in the time to wake up, go to the gym, get dressed, shower, all that stuff into one block of time. You can do it different if you want to separate out and break it out differently. I used to do that. I used to plan like 15-minute chunks and it worked really well. But now that I have my daughter, things just vary. Sometimes I'll wake up on Monday morning ready to work out, and my daughter is also awake very early. So I have to change her diaper and feed her, and then I'll wake up my husband to take her while I go to the gym. But it changes my schedule. So I just have learned that doing kind of more vague, bigger chunks of time works really well for me and my family right now, and I'm able to get what I need to get done when I plan this way. So if that was helpful to you, if you want to kind of plan your week like that, or if you just want a deeper look into my whole planning process, like how we plan our meals, how we schedule work and school, how we manage childcare and all that stuff, I've linked to more videos below. I have a whole playlist about just scheduling and organizing like that. But if you have any specific questions, leave them in the comments. Otherwise, I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.